is up, guys? First, before we start, I want to point out that this picture back here, this is not a picture of, people I'm holding, against their will, for a ransom of money or anything like that. This is just a teaser picture for the Revenant live stream that's going to be happening on the 20th. Did not kidnap anybody. The Revenant, the new class. You guys should have read the Polygon article that talks about the new class and also the official blog post that talks about the new class. Catch up in the doobly-doo. Alright, so you're all caught up. Let's start.
You guys did read it, right? You're just waiting for WP to pull out a video, read it for word like a little baba, right? Right. A sweet bedtime story, right? For you to go to sleep with, right? Okay, fine. Too long, didn't read. The Revenant is a heavy armor, medium health pool class with unique profession mechanics and resource management. It can't switch weapons, told ya, but instead can switch between two legendary stances that will switch the skills of the right-hand side of the skill bar. Every skill that the Revenant uses energy, which the Revenant constantly regens. They also announce and talk about the hammer, mace, and axe weapons for the Revenant, and also two legendary stances so far, the demon stance and the dwarf stance. And lastly, they talk about the new boon, condition, and status effect that's going to be added to the new profession specializations. Resistance boon. Conditions currently on you have no effect. Slow condition. Skills and actions are slower. And taunt. Wait a minute. Taunt? Taunt? Woo!
If it wasn't for the new specializations, I would say that Aina is pulling a Maple story here with all the, the new class getting all these cool new tech skills that are being brought into the game, and then the old classes look kind of old. It's like when you see the new kid walking with the new kicks on, you're like, oh snap, and then you look down to your dad's hand-me-down slippers that has a couple questionable stains on them. I mean, we haven't heard what the other classes are getting with their specializations, but I mean, the Revenant is getting all these cool new tech skills, like upkeep skills, where the hammer can block projectiles for, as long as your energy can hold up, and I'm pretty sure you can trait your energy to be, get regen faster, and they were saying like, it regens like about 5 points every second, and the upkeep skill takes away like 7, so that is a -2 loss here, so you can keep that up for a while depending on the pool of energy that you have. I mean, you can swap as well. You could, if once you use all the energy for one mist power or legendary, you can switch to the other legendary and you'll have automatically 15% energy to use all your skills. He goes on to say you can pop your healing skill, switch over to the other legendary, and pop your healing skill again. OP! We haven't tried it yet. It just looks really cool and complicated, and I love complex classes, and I can't wait to dive into this. This might become like everyone's main, and then it's just like, oh, hopefully it's just not like all Revenant everywhere. Everywhere you go, it's just Revenant everywhere. It's just like legendaries all over again. There's something that has me confused here, alright? So, as you know, when you switch a legendary, right, your mist power, you only get 2 slots, right? And you can't swap a weapon. So what happens when you swap your legendary is that it swaps your 6 through your 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0, I guess, if you're using the keypad. You swap your right side of your skill bar. So your healing skill, your utilities, and then your elite all get swapped. And I'm guessing they're all on their separate cooldowns as well. It's interesting because is it using the same skills? Because I look at the blog post and it said it gave 2 different names for 2 elite skills, and I'm like, okay, are you going to be able to swap your elite skills? Because that's what it looks like on the picture. It has that little icon arrow up that you can swap each skill. Are you going to have different templates for each legendary? Like, what's the deal here? And then when I look at the blog post, it says, if you look at the number of utility skills and heal skills and elite skills on other professions, you'll get a ballpark idea of the number of legends that you're going to be able to get. Like, what does that mean? So hold up, can you swap different heal skills and different elites and stuff, or can't you? It seems like it's contradicting it, and I guess the wording is a little bit wrong. I don't know how they do interviews and how they can change the wording, but it's a little bit confusing there. Somebody in the comments will give a good theory better than I. Now, I feel like the blog post kind of has a theme, a big bomb theme. If you're reading it all the way to the end, you see a lot of new boons and conditions being added in. Of course, you know, you have resistance, you have taunt, you have all these things coming in, and you're like, and then you look back at the Revenant skills, and they have some type of control as well, right? We talked about this in the beginning, years ago, when Guild Wars 2 was first coming out, and we're talking about damage, support, and control, like the soft trinity. Control is not really used in dungeons and stuff like that. I mean, you do see it in PvP and World v World. You see some really cool play with that, but nothing too big because of the, you know, the 5-man cap on skills and stuff like that for World v World. But it still worked, you know, especially like fearing people off World v the mountain in World v World, especially in Edge of the Mist. That's always really fun to see. Anyways, control. I'm getting sidetracked here. It seems to making a comeback here, especially with the Revenant having skills. They mentioned 2 skills that pushes enemies away. For the dwarf stance, you have like an unnamed skill that they mentioned on the blog post where like a rune comes down and boom, hits the earth and pushes people back. You have the temporal rift for the axe. And then you have for the demon stance, you have something that pushes enemies away as well. There seems to be a lot of control here for the Revenant and OP. Sorry, I'm just joking. It's just, you know, when you see these new skills, you feel the OP-ness from the Revenant. It's just ridiculous. Now I see what you mean. Yeah, the guy in the comments was talking about this before. I get it. I get it. But all these, you know, skills are like in my head. It's just like, oh man, the theory crafting is amazing. I can't wait to see actually the trait line and how you can do that, you know, twist it up there, because the new boons work really well with what the Revenant is. Like, for instance, resistance will, you know, help you when it comes down to conditions. And there's a part on the demon stance, each skill gives you a condition on you because it will give you more of a powerful hit when you have the more conditions you have on you. So stacked up with resistance, or even if an ally player puts resistance on you, that can also help you stack conditions on you and then put it back. Man, these guys are gonna wreck necros. Well, of course, if you're using demon stance, and I can't wait to see the other legends. The other legends should be pretty tight. I mean, man, it seems like each one has a theme. There's also another thing I was talking about, the taunt. The taunt, guys. This is gonna be spread out through classes, and you know Warrior might have one. You know the Guardian might have a new skill with taunt on it as well. You can just only see the shouts for Warrior and Guardian having taunt on them and being able to taunt the foe. And what this does, and it's been in the game before, there's a champion that uses taunt where you get taunted and you will automatically walk towards the source and you can only auto attack. This is very interesting, especially because Revenant, they were just talking about the Revenant having an upkeep skill for the dwarf stance, which puts a bunch of hammers around you, which help you with defense. And it's just like, oh, are you guys, and they use the word tank now. They use the word tank. Are you guys bringing tanks back? Are you going to be able to take? Is it going to be viable? Is it going to be better than DPSing it down? Are they going to have our new champions going to have more health pool and more mechanics to keep you away from just like rubbing up on them and stacking on each other? Like, I would love to see something like that, especially with the new telegraphs and stuff like that. Like, okay, nope, you guys got to back up. Nope, you guys got to be over here. No, you got to be over here. And it'll be really cool to see people coordinate to you know, put resistance on people, put the taunt, and I'm assuming it's not going to just be one guy, right? Because the support role is like everyone can have it, like kind of how the Guardian can do damage plus he can support at the same time, and that's also good with the Ellie and Warrior, anybody, pretty much anybody, almost everyone. And I'm assuming you're going to be able to coordinate, like, oh, 2 people of the party will be able to constantly taunt the foes, constantly taunt the person who you're attacking, whether it be a group of people, you know. I'm assuming taunt might be, you know, capped at 5. You'll be able to cap 5. I don't know. That opened a new world of possibilities. I'm trying not to keep it only PvE based. I know a lot of you guys play other worlds, and I play a lot of World v World. But I would like to kind of see that. Let me flesh out my thought. The taunt, right? If you're fighting a boss, then two people would be that would be their role, not role, but like their side thing. Like, okay, you taunt. Now number 2 taunts, number 1 taunt, number 1, and that's usually what we do. We give everyone numbers, and it's just easier to say number 1 do this, number 2 do this, number 3 do this, you know, and you constantly keep that going, and that really works when it comes down to controlling the situation and the boss attacks and interrupting them and stuff like that. Stuff that people just disregard in Guild Wars 2, that you can even do that in the first place. It'll be good to actually see that put into the game in a strong way, to kind of push that, like, you can do these things. It's not something out of this world. It's not all about Zerker, you know, stack up and all that type of stuff. I'm not hating. Let me clarify, because a lot of people like to take my words out of context. I'm not complaining about Zerker. I'm just saying that it'll be nice to see other things. I like build diversity. I'm for build diversity. I'm not against necessarily Zerker. I'm just for build diversity, and I would like to see that more in the game. The reason why Zerker is, you know, a lot of people use it is because it's optimized, right? It's the optimal way to do damage, as long as you can dodge attacks, as long as you can do these things. That's why the Zerker is why everyone uses it. Well, not everyone uses it, on the people who want to do speed runs and stuff like that. That's why people use that. I'm going off in a tangent here. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm not gonna talk too long about this. It would be nice for support and control to have a place, and that's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna go off in a 10-minute video, make a 10-minute, 20-minute video on some type of Zerker craziness. I don't care. Let's hope ANET does some really cool stuff with this new expansion, and kind of change up the builds and what's optimal, because I would like to see cooler stuff than just one armor set. Build diversity for the win. Anyways, guys, I'm done rambling. I'll see you guys later. Stay visual, be safe. I'm not gonna hump this time. I'm just gonna walk off, okay?